Greetings, students and parents. My name is Mr. Moore. This is the first Screencastify podcast for World Studies 7. Today's topic is the online textbook, and I'm just going to introduce you to a couple of features. Think of this as a public service announcement to show you how great the online textbook is. But before we get going on that, I want to take just a moment and welcome you to West Junior High School. Welcome to junior high school. It was a long time ago that I went to junior high school. It was 44 years ago that I went to seventh grade. And I remember so much of it. I know we're starting out with a slightly different start to school this year. That's okay. Already, there's so much positive energy among the teachers and staff here. And what we want to do is we want to extend that to you. And we want to get going on some work. So when, and I am saying when, we are back here in person, that all of that positivity and all that hard work just carries forward. And we're going to come out on the other side of this stronger, better, smarter. And we're going to have some fun doing it. The online textbook, speaking of fun. I have 3 books in mind, and that's because I teach a couple of different classes. But here's our history survey. You'll use this one too from time to time, but this one right here, this is our favorite one. This looks complicated. Don't worry about that because I'll always just pop your chapter section in Google Classroom because this talks to Google Classroom. Let's talk about samurais today. And these right here, these are pretty typical chapter sections, chapter questions. It's really colorful. It's great. There's worksheets to go with it. But what makes this book different is this. First of all, culture close-up. Rather than just jumping in with a bunch of reading, we look at things like culture close-up, Japan before the modern times. And all of these little red dots are hot, of course. And they open up. The main gate of the castle complex was often covered with iron to protect it against battering and musket fire. Beyond the gate was an enclosed courtyard that confined intruders and exposed them to attack. Oh, so that kind of bottled up the attackers. First you protected from without, but then if they breached the gate, I guess you had them trapped. So this is just part of our study of the samurai, which is pretty fun and happens in the spring. And let's go back. Another feature of the book is the My Story. And the people who wrote this book, they didn't just bring in history and geography experts. They brought in actual experts in young adult fiction. And what they do is they start out every chapter section with a work of historical fiction. It's usually about 3 short pages long. But the funny thing is that we can spend 2 days just reading these 3 pages and going through in them and talking about some of the vocabulary that's in there. It's very rich vocabulary in its art. And this one is about an author who was very famous during the Heian period of Japan. And as you can see, it's kind of set up in graphic novel format. And I've found over the years that our students really like reading these. And that what this does is this kind of, it's like the springboard, the diving board that helps us dive into the chapter. And we go back and it helps us get more involved in school. It helps us work on our literacy skills and it helps us work on our critical thinking. And I'm going to go back. And as you can see, the same story is available in video, so people can get reinforcement that way. Anyway, I'm looking forward to doing some reading with this. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And in case you're wondering why I wear a crown, it is because it cuts the glare. See you soon.